New details at 5.
Crowdfunding to help hundreds of people pushed out of an apartment complex. Columbus city leaders voted to use $3 million to help assist with housing. We're talking about the Colonial Village Apartments. The city initially said about 800 people were found living in substandard conditions back in November. Now that number is up to 1,300 people living in the apartment complexes.
A handful of people had valid leases, but hundreds of others were lied to. Hundreds were forced out by the end of 2023, and many have yet to find a solid home. Now the city is giving more money to the Community Shelter Board to continue helping these residents. 10 TV's Colin Dorsey is live from City Hall after talking with former residents and people representing the city. Colin?
Yeah, the development department tells me the city committed all this money when this all started unfolding late last year. But one woman who lived at Colonial Village tells me this temporary solution has cost her much more than just her home.
It's a living hell.
LaToya Bonner lived at Colonial Village for 7 years, but now lives in a hotel on the opposite side of the city. And while it is a place to stay, it comes at a cost.
And I want somebody to help me. I have no car. I have no job now. I have nothing, and I don't know what to do.
She says being moved to the hotel without a car cost her job and just wants stability back.
And going from that original number of 800 to, in the end, almost 1,400 people.
Yes.
How does that change what you're trying to do?
Well, you can imagine that it was just daunting. Anywhere between 500 to 800 people. That in itself, that have immediate needs, but going upwards of 1,300 people, well over 300 children.
Shannon Isom heads up the Community Shelter Board. The Shelter Board took on the Herculean effort in getting residents into temporary housing with the goal of a permanent place to stay. But it hasn't been easy. The original timeline for finding a permanent solution was the end of March. Isom says it's going to take longer than that.
So we know March is coming, and that is a right now deadline. But we do know that there's going to be others that just are not going to meet the deadline. What we're bracing for is maybe the majority won't make that deadline.
Isom says this money from the city will help them complete the task.
And then the rest of the balance of this $3 million was to say, gosh, now that we know everything, we know the entire universe and cohort of people that have been displaced, what are the dollars needed?
For Bonner, she says she just wants help and to go back to the place she called home.
We felt comfortable out in Colonial Village. A lot of us wish we could go back out there.
Now, Isom tells me that as of right now, they've been able to find a handful of people a permanent place to stay, but they are working on the rest. And for the Shelter Board, the waves just keep coming. They had to rehouse the people at the Latitude 525 apartments, then Colonial Village, and most recently, the Galloway Village Apartments. So that means there are a lot of people all looking for a permanent place to stay all at once. Live from Columbus City Hall, Colin Dorsey, 10 TV News.
Colin, thank you. New